There you go. Another one in the bag for the Red Bull. Another one in the bag for Max Verstappen. He's looking unbeatable right now. But you know what? I was looking on this website trying to get some audio snippets from my video. So I'm getting into the audio snippets now. And I typed in the Austrian national anthem. And this is what he came up with, by the way. This is the search engine, right? I started clicking this. There you go. That's what came up when I typed in the Austrian national anthem. I typed in American one came up. Typed in the British one came up. I typed in the Russian one came up. I typed in the Austrian one, and that's what came up. This is the 2021 Austrian Grand Prix race day review. I haven't done that in a while. The last 5 videos I've just come out and got into it. First time I've done this in a long time where I've introduced myself. I said this is the F1 2021 Austrian Grand Prix race day review. There you go. So, these are my 2 drivers of the day. Who would ever thought the geek from Australia, Daniel Ricciardo, I said it on my video yesterday. I'm not double back on it. I said it yesterday on my video. I said this geek, Zach Brown must have think, what have I done signing this Australian geek? But this Australian geek is showing his stuff now. Hopefully he can carry it into Silverstone. You're going to be at home. I know Daniel Ricciardo from Australia, but he's British, basically British anyway. They're going to be at the home race McLaren in 10 days time. They're saying now 10 days, really it's 2 weeks until the next race. But it's going to be 10 days where they're going to be at Austrain and they're going to be starting the practice 1. Doing all the press conferences and stuff like that. But they're going to be at the Austrian Grand Prix. the British Grand Prix, Silverstone, home of motorsports. The first ever Grand Prix F1 Grand Prix was at Silverstone in 1950, and this is the home of motorsports. 90% of the teams of the F1, actually 95 of the paddock, are all based in Britain anyway. So basically, it's the home of motorsport. Yeah, but anyway, onto the Austrian Grand Prix. Come on, before this race, who would ever thought that Max Verstappen would have won this race? Come on. Yeah, it's a joke. We all knew that Max Verstappen was going to win this race. Let's face it. If you thought in your head that Lewis would have won the race, don't watch it. Don't watch this product. Don't watch it, because you're not supposed to be watching it. Because you're a brain dead geek. Because if you know anything about racing, you've been watching for the last couple of months, we all knew that Max Verstappen was going to win this race. And like I said yesterday about Mercedes, I said it at the end of my video yesterday. If you didn't catch my video, look on my video, my qualifying video. You can go back on my channel. Links will be in the description below, and you can check out my qualifying video yesterday. I appreciate if you show the video some love. Hit the like button. And on that video, I was saying, look, at the end of the video, I said, Mercedes, yeah, don't moan. Don't start moaning if you're not getting P3 and P4. It's not about, you're not really battling with Mercedes now. You're battling with McLaren, in my opinion. The way at this point now, you are battling with McLaren. Red Bull have gone. At this point in time, I'm still not going to give up the championship for Lewis Hamilton, because anything can happen. Mercedes might come to Silverstone. They might throw all their resources at the car and say, you know what, fuck 2022. We're going to start now, and we're going to throw the resources at the car, right? And they might start to peg back at Red Bull. But at this point in time, I just can't see it at this point in time. If they don't start doing that, they're going to lose this title. And they're not going to lose the title by about 60, 80 points. It's going to be 150 points. That's in constructors. Now, they're sacrificing this year. We all know that. I've gone over this yesterday. I've went over it the week before and the week before. I'm not going to get into it again. But they have sacrificed it, and now it's showing. Max Verstappen, Max Stonking Head, he is confident now. You see him in the press conference. He's sitting there, thinks he's the man, putting up his shoes on the table, thinking, yeah, I'm the fucking king. I'm going to stay the king. That's what he's thinking. He's thinking, no one's going to beat me now. He's got the fastest car. right? And that's it. I read some dumb tweet yesterday. Another tweet. I was just randomly going through my tweets because you always get the dumbass geeks, the Lewis haters. And one guy says, this is what... Someone had a video of Lewis Hamilton. He had his hands in his eyes from an old Grand Prix. And they say, look, Lewis Hamilton's crying. Now Lewis Hamilton realises how we feel, the fans who are not Mercedes fans. And I said to him in the comment section, what do you expect him to do the last 7 years? Slow down so he gets beat? At the end of the day, you'll see Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen starts winning every season, which I don't think they're going to do, because I think Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes, I'm not saying this season's over, but next season, if they calculated it right, when next season starts, Mercedes are going to be off on a good start again. But you can't expect Lewis. People say, oh yeah, Lewis always winning every year. Listen, idiots. If you was in a Formula 1 car and you had a chance to win every single year for the next 8 years, what would you do? You would take it. You're not going to fucking slow down for the next man behind you and think, you know what, this is a boring race, just fucking pass me, you dumb geek. No. You're going to win. Ask anybody on that grid, would you have done what Lewis Hamilton done for the last 7 years? Win every single fucking race, win every championship. The only one that there was a blip was Rosberg. What would you do? What would they say? They'd say, yep, we'll be Lewis Hamilton. And that's what you get, these dumb comments on Twitter. You always get it from the dumb haters that hate Lewis Hamilton. But the point I'm trying to make is that Max Verstappen's got the good car, and by the looks of it, at the moment, it looks like he's going to win the championship. I'm not going to give up that yet. I'm not going to say that he's going to win the championship. We're going to start looking after Silverstone. We're going to start looking after Silverstone. We're going to see where Mercedes are. I'm going to see where Red Bull are. We'll see what happens in Silverstone and see where Mercedes... If Mercedes have another weekend like this, like they did this weekend, Lewis finished 4th place. And you got fucking Lando Norris, which for me, he should have got... For me, he should have finished 2nd. Them penalties what they give to Lando Norris, he did not deserve that. No fucking way. No way should he have got them penalties. No way. At the end of the day, right, we're not in fucking ballet. Okay? This is not touch ball. This is Formula 1. And the Sky Sport commentators and the people watching the race and tweeting knew that Lando Norris didn't deserve that penalty. He got the penalty, but he still finished 3rd on the grid. Lando Norris should have been 2nd. He should have been 2nd. Now, but look, beginning, I'm not going to get into it. Look, I've got a few notes I put down here. At the end of the day, right, the podium that was there at the end, they deserve to be there. That's even including Valtteri Bottas. Finally, Bottas has got on the podium. Perez, I don't know what he was doing. He was like a stuntman today. Perez was everywhere. He was crashing into everybody, going onto the gravel. I don't know what Perez is doing. He was on the back foot from lap 1. And he cost the Red Bull today in the constructors a couple of points. But Lewis finishing 4th place, that's going to hurt him. Didn't get fastest lap either. I think that went to Max Verstappen. But I'm going to get into the review now. I'm going to bring him up and get through this. There's a lot of notes here today, so I'm going to... Because it was all right race. In parts, at the beginning, it was good for the first few laps. And then obviously in the middle of the race, it got a bit boring. But there was a lot of overtakes. There was a lot of mini battles. I saw a lot of mini battles coming from Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc and Perez battling together. Great wheel-to-wheel action. Alonso, my man. Alonso, my favourite driver on the grid. I saw him battling with George Russell. So there was some mini battles and Ferrari playing the team game, letting Bottas, let Sainz get in front, let Sainz pass Charles Leclerc, because Charles Leclerc had the weaker tyres, the older tyres. So Charles Leclerc moved over for Sainz to pass Ricciardo at the end. That was good teamwork by Ferrari. So overall, it was a decent race. It was better than last week. Last week was fucking like watching paint dry. This week was a lot better. So I'm going to get into this review. So at the beginning, there's one thing I say about Lando Norris, and you know what? I'll give props to Hamilton as well. Lando Norris, you can see he's world class. He is world class. Keeping Lewis Hamilton behind him for 17 laps was amazing. And even when Lewis finally passed him, he said Lando's a good driver. Come out on the radio and he said it. Lando, he's a great driver, but you're still going to get the Lewis Hamilton haters. They're going to make some shit up, thumbnail it, put it on YouTube, dirty virgins. They're going to put something on YouTube and say, oh, Lewis said this, Lewis said that. That just to get likes on the videos. Dumb F1 geeks. So, I'm going to get into this review. Right. Lights out and away we go. What else is going to start with? We know it's going to be lights out of the way we go. Lights out of the... What, they come out with a fucking another catchphrase? Crafty should just come out with another catchphrase. Lights out of the way we go. Say something else, man. Anyway, lights out of the way we go. Matt gets a good start. Matt gets a good start. Lewis beats Bottas. Lewis Hamilton and Bottas both was having a little mini battle at the beginning. It was amazing. Lando Norris, respect to that guy. He held his position, stayed second behind Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen has got that Red Bull car has got the best launch control, hands down. Because no one's going to beat Max Verstappen this year for starts. No way. So Max Verstappen gets a good start. Lando follows him. There was a battle between Bottas and Lewis at the beginning. Bottas passed Lewis, and then when it got to turn 2 or turn 3, Lewis passed Bottas, so that was it. At the beginning, it was Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Lewis Hamilton, and Bottas was in 4th place. Ocon, the bad luck continues. Soon as Ocon announced he's having a 3-year contract last week, or the 2 weeks before, he was having a 3-year extension on his contract. He's gone from bad to worse. Ocon gets hit again. He got sandwiched between Antonio and Schumacher at the back. I don't know what he was doing in that position anyway, but he got sandwiched between them 2 drivers, and he hit his car, safety car come out, and that was Ocon, lap 1 out of the race. Back to the showers, back to the interview rooms, plane, head home back to France. So, safety car was out for about 2-3 laps. Lap 4 came, Bottas was battling with Lewis. Both swapping places, like I told you, there was both swapping places again at lap 4. But Lewis again getting ahead. So Bottas, he ain't giving up. I know he ain't going to win the title. We know he ain't going to win the title. But he ain't going to roll over for Lewis Hamilton. He's battling at the end of the day. He wants his points as well. I don't know if he's going to be there this season, but at the end of the day, he has to make an impression. If he wants team to pick him up, he has to make an impression. If he starts just rolling over for Lewis Hamilton, at the end of the day, his net worth is going to be lower. If he starts winning some races and getting a few podiums, whoever's going to pick him up, his net worth is going to be more. So he's going for business for himself. He knows most likely he might not be there this season. I'm not going to make a prediction on that. I think it's 50-50. He knows he's not going to be there. He may not be there this season, so he has to get more wins for himself, for his net worth to go. So whoever team picks him up, maybe Aston Martin might pick him up, Williams, he can demand more money, because at the end of the day, he can say, look, I won 4 races this season. I got 6 podiums. I want more. It's smart business. So, investigation, Norris. There was a clash between Norris and Perez. To me, the one of 2 incidents, it shouldn't have happened. To me, Perez should have pulled out. If they were going racing wheel to wheel, he fit in this gap that wasn't there. Perez ended up the worst. He went onto the gravel, and Perez was aggressive, and Lando was just holding his line. It's a typical racing incident in my book. A lot of people agreed with me. He shouldn't have got a penalty. They gave Lando a 5-second time penalty for that, and he did not deserve it. If anything, Perez should have got the penalty. So there was battling. Perez got the worst of it. He went from 5th place to, I think it was 9th or 10th. So that was his race. That was his podium chances over anyway after that, because Lando Norris was showing true pace, and he's definitely a future world champion if they give him the right car. So, Lando Norris was battling with Perez, turn 4. He went off, and yeah, it was 10th place Perez went into. Lap 13, Tsunoda pitted only after lap 13. So, Yuki Tsunoda pitted at lap 13. So, his medium tyres that he had on his car wasn't really working out. So, he come out, and as soon as he came out, he cut the pit lane. He went over the line before he come out the pits, and he got... No, as he was entering the pits, actually, he went over the line. And then further on in the race, he got a 5-second time penalty for that. So, he was under investigation, like I just told you, for the pit lane, and he got a 5-second time penalty. Lap 18, Vettel pits. Just a normal pit, I think he put on the hard tyres after. And then it came up, like I told you before, he got a 5-second time penalty, Lando Norris. So, Lewis passes Lando, finally, after how many laps? And Lewis said on the radio, Lando's a great driver, because he was battling with Lando for about 10 laps, maybe. I think it was about 10 laps. And you could see that Lando didn't just like say pass. He was saying about his tyres, the rear tyres, And the guy on the radio said to Lando, his engineer, he said, look, as long as you look after the rear tyres around the corners, you should be all right in front. But at the end of the day, there was one, I think turn one, Lewis got a good exit, he come out turn one and he passed Lando on the straight, and it was just a clean pass. And Lando and Lewis showing him respect at the end, saying on the radio, he said, look, Lando's a good driver, and that was respect to Lewis. But you're going to get the Lewis Hamilton haters, they still won't get it because they're just dumb ass geeks. So, Lewis said, yeah, like I said, Tsunoda got a 5-second time, like I said before. That was straight after Lando got props from Lewis. So lap 31, Norris takes a time penalty, and Bottas done a clever move. He was chasing Lando, so he came into the pits the same time as Lando, just after him. He knew he was going to take the time penalty, so he went in, had a normal pit stop Bottas, and then he came out in front of Lando because Lando had the 5-second time penalty. So that was a smart move from Mercedes strategy team and pit team. Finally, after about 5 races, you got it right this time. You never screwed Bottas. So that was it then. Lewis, lap 31, yeah, takes time. Lap 33, Max pits, easy pit. He was about 30 seconds ahead then. He was in early lap Lewis by these points. That car is so fast. You can stick Yuki Tsunoda in that car and he'd win the world title. Trust me, that's how fast that Red Bull car, as you know. So lap 41, Perez, he done the same move. He tried to attempt on Lando. He done the same move, but with Charles Leclerc in the same corner, turn 4, exactly the same. He went out. Charles went onto the gravel this time because he pushed him off, and Perez got a 5-second time penalty. Another 5-second time penalty. He got a 5-second time penalty. So that's 2 penalties. He got 2 penalties. Lap 47, Charles and Perez part 2. This was another one not long after. So in lap 31, he got a 5-second time penalty, Perez, for pushing Charles off. And in lap 47, he done the same thing again and got a 5-second time penalty. So overall, Perez got 10-second time penalties. And that was his race over. Not really good for the constructors either. I don't understand why Perez was doing this. At the beginning, Perez should have just held it down. I think he was in 5th place behind Lando. And he should have just paced himself. I don't understand. Look, the guy's, he's been in Formula 1 for a long time, Perez. And I know when he first came into Formula 1, he was with McLaren. I remember when he went to McLaren, he was a bit aggressive. And I thought he's a good driver. He's an ace driver, but he was a bit aggressive. And it's like he's doing that again. He doesn't need to. He's in a fast car. He knows eventually, as the time ticks on, he's going to pass Lando anyway. And these guys are not going to catch him. But he was frustrated. I think he was frustrated about the car. And he's talking about yesterday about his car. He said that his car wasn't up to scratch because his car wasn't there through the whole of the weekend. But anyway, he got a 10-second time penalty overall. It's 2 separate incidents. So, that was Perez's race over. There was no way he was getting on the podium at this point. Impossible. Unless there was some sort of safety car and whatever. He pitted at the right time. So, lap 40, I told that. Lap 51, Lewis Hamilton picked up some damage on his car. They said he was going over the curbs too high. You know how them curbs are in Austria, how high they are. He went over the curbs too many and he damaged some of his suspension. There was some sort of damage on his floor and Bottas was gaining on him. And I thought, look, and at the end of the day, the only one who's going to beat Max Verstappen is Lewis Hamilton. But he was losing too much time. And the only thing that I actually called this, even for the geeks on F1 and called it on Sky Sports F1, I called this 8 laps before when I knew it was happening. I said, if Bottas slows down behind Hamilton, that'll give Norris the chance to come up and catch up with both of them. But at lap 51, Mercedes come to the conclusion and said, look, Bottas, you're free to race with Lewis. So basically, that's what the engineer's saying, and the communication department of Webber, his engineer, basically passed Lewis because Lewis was losing time. It was half a second faster every lap. So lap 51, they said, look, you're free to race Lewis. And straight after that, they said invert the cars. So basically, Bottas passes Lewis. Lewis moves over. Lewis done the job. He said, look, move over. Lewis moved over. Bottas passed him. That was it. There's nothing Lewis could have done. If they would have carried on like that, Lando would have passed them both. So, that was then. So, basically, 5 seconds. I told you at the Perez. Lando passes Lewis at lap 54. Lewis was losing time. So, basically, in front now at this time, Max Verstappen. Second place was Valtteri Bottas. And third was Lando Norris, because I told you Lando Norris passed him because of that incident before with Lewis where he went over the curb and damaged his car. So Lewis was losing a lot of time. 5 seconds. So basically Lando passes Lewis, and then as soon as that happened on lap 54, Lewis dives into the pits and puts on a set of new hard tyres, set fast his lap for about half a lap, and then all of a sudden Max Verstappen sets another fastest lap. Actually, it was Sainz, then Max Verstappen. So Max Verstappen was flying ahead. He had the fastest car. He got the fastest lap. There was no way he was going to beat. The only way he was going to lose is somehow he crashed his car, or if he went into another. Actually, at one time he came into the pits for a free pit stop, and that's how far he was away from the second place. And he still, when he come out the pits, he still had a 37-second gap over second place, which was Valtteri Bottas. So at these points, he was flying high. No one's going to beat him at these points. And that was it. He come on and got the fastest lap again, and got the fastest lap. Game over for today. I'm not saying for the season, but for today. Lap 5, so Yuka Tsunoda got another 5-second time penalty for going into the same incident, going into the pits, but cutting across the pits to go into the pit. Same incident he got in the earlier the race. He got a 5-second time penalty. Overall, he got a 10-second time penalty. Yuka Tsunoda. Lap 68, after 7 laps, Alonso passes George Russell. George Russell and Alonso was having a nice little mini battle. It was a battle for a point, basically, to get into 10th place. George only could do what he could do. He had Alonso behind him with a nice fast car, and he kept Alonso behind him for about 8 laps, and then finally Alonso got a good exit out of turn 1 and passed George Russell, and that was it for George Russell. He finished 11th place. He done good. Alonso done good for finishing 10th place for where he came from. Really, he should have started on 6 on the grid, but we know how that happened. I talked about that on my review yesterday. Go and check that out in my qualifying video. And that was it at the end of the race. George Russell just got passed by Alonso. Max Verstappen got the win. Second place, Lando Norris. And just at the end, a lap before, just before the end, Kimi Räikkönen and Vettel clashed. Both went onto the gravel. I don't know what that was about, but that's Vettel for you. Sometimes he has them days, but it wasn't in Vettel's fault at the day. He was just a racing incident. They both hit each other and they both went onto the gravel, and that was the end of the race. Max Verstappen got the win. Dan Ricciardo, amazing, finishing 7th, or no, it was 8th place. Absolutely amazing. Daniel Ricciardo. Well, I'm happy for him. I hope he continues this into the next race and build on. Look, I would love to see McLaren win the constructors soon. You know, McLaren, they are. I'm so happy for McLaren. They've built the team back up. It's been a while since they've been up there, and they've got 2 good drivers. And hopefully that Daniel Ricciardo gets a hang of this car and then move forward. And I'm happy for Lando Norris as well. So it's looking good for the British driver for the future. We've got Lando Norris, we've got George Russell, amazing 2 British drivers. Jack Aitken probably will hopefully coming next season, go to Williams and get the geek thing out of there. What's his name? Latifi. And get more British drivers in there. It'd be amazing. I love to see the progression of the young British drivers. And that's the end of the review. This is Solo P1. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be back here in 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks, doing the Silverstone qualifying race day review. I might go to the race. I don't know yet at this time. I'm going to see what's going to happen. I still might go to the race. And yeah, this is it, man. Solo P1 signing out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.